Hi everyone. As I promised, we are going to be doing live vision boarding on, I guess, tonight. And if you got your vision board materials, then you can bring them out and start vision boarding. It doesn't have to be today. It can be another day. We're going to be talking about love because my vision board theme for now is love. There'll be discussions about love, how to draw love into your life, love yourself, and I'm also going to show you some books from my book collection about love. So I did have a vision board before. It's in my kitchen, and that vision board was about health and wellness and food. And I put it in my kitchen so I could guilt trip myself into being healthy. But I'm going to show you what I have for my vision board so far. So you gotta set an ambiance for it. Let me switch this. So right here is my vision board. Yes, it is huge, but I mean, it's a board. And I'm going to move it around. So I'm gonna show you some of the materials I have. I have glitter markers. I also have glitter, but I'm going to apply it when I'm done with the vision board. I have a pink candle because I like to set the ambiance. I have a vanilla candle and vanilla incense. If you don't know I like vanilla, now you know. So I have already pre-cut my pictures for my vision board, and I have it in 4 sections. Each section has a theme. So this section is all about travel because the true love I'm trying to bring into my life, I want to travel with them. I want us to go places together. I want to see things, and they probably want to see things too. So I put that right here. They might be a traveler. Who knows? I don't know who they are. Over here in this section, I have basically how I want the relationship to unfold as. Usually every time I date somebody, it is ending towards marriage, or my goal is the ending towards marriage. So I have be married. I have pictures of couples being in love. It was a little difficult to find couples of African descent, but when you make a vision board, don't focus on what the people look like, especially if you're doing it for love. What you really want to see is how these people are feeling in the image. You want to get as close to the image of how you want to feel in your vision board. So like, I like hugs, I like heroes, and I like food and Afrolicious because I like black people. Afrolicious. Then over here, this section is called kids because this person, when we get married, we can start a family. So I have pictures of children, pictures of a little boy with glasses because the dad will be smart, picture of a man with his daughter because I'd like someone who is a good father. That's one section. And then over here are basically qualities that I want in the person. So love, energy, or qualities I want in the relationship too, like renewal. I even have a picture of a salad because my goal is to be health oriented. So I don't want somebody whose diet will probably harm the family. I don't care what it is, as long as it's kind of a healthy diet. Enhance, because I want this person to enhance my life. So as I put these on the board, I will explain some of the words to you. So hold on, I'm in my living room, so it's kind of a mess. I'm switching. Okay, so I'm going to light my incense and my candle because when you're vision boarding for something, you want to set your own little ambiance. So I'm lighting my vanilla candle because, as I said, I like vanilla. I'm lighting my pink candle because it is about love. And I'm lighting my incense, and I have the window open. Well, my thing went out. I have the window open so the smoke alarm doesn't go off. So if you've never vision boarded, the purpose of vision boarding is basically where you see the images that you want drawn into your life on a frequent basis. So if you want, let's say, a new car drawn into your life, you might have a vision board with all cars. If you want more money drawn into your life, you'll have a vision board with all money on it, you know? And it seeps into your subconscious mind. So that way your actions become in alignment with, hey, this glue stick, in alignment with what you want to attract. So, topic of the day is, let me start. I'll start off with like how I started vision boarding. Me personally, I don't like vision boarding. I really don't. I'm more of a person that would like to just write out what they want and then bring it into their life. So let's go places because we're going to travel. I'm more of a person that likes to write. But the first vision board I ever made was in college. And it was for a specific goal that I had in mind. And what I did was I cut out images related to the goal. So as I said, one of the qualities I want in a partner is I want him and I to travel. So I have pictures of different places. I have names of different states. I have images of different cities, islands. I even have one that says island on it. So anyway, so I made my first vision board in college. And what I did was I cut out images that were related to the goal that I wanted. But I also set a deadline. Now, you don't have to set a deadline when you're doing one, but I wanted to set a deadline anyway. So my deadline to attain my goal was June 20th. And not only did I set this deadline and make the vision board, I decided that every day I would do some type of routine related to the vision board. It would always be the first thing in the morning. It doesn't have to be the first thing in the morning for you. It can be at nighttime. It can be whenever you have time, or it can just be as frequently as you can. But my routine was the morning because I had to go to school. It was right before class, so I would be on my way out. So I would look at my vision board and look at all of the images on the vision board, and I would play a song. That'd be the first thing I would do. I'll play a song. Now, sometimes when you select a song for something, it's almost like Pavlov's dogs. Like, they salivated whenever they heard the bell. Children run whenever they hear the ice cream truck sound. So the same was with the vision board. So the song that I had selected was The Light by Common, which is a remake of Open Your Eyes by Bobby Caldwell. So I would look at my vision board and I would play The Light by Common, and then I would dance, and I would get really, really excited about all of the things that I was going to bring into my life. And I would imagine that I had this thing in my life. And lo and behold, what happened? I did this for, I don't know how many months I did this. Maybe it was most likely 3 or 4 months that I did this. So as I said, my goal was my deadline for achieving my goal was June 30th. And I ended up attaining my goal on June 19th, thanks to the vision board. So yeah, there's other people that have had massive success using this method as well. There's this woman called Lilu Mace, and she has a site, or she had a YouTube channel called the 100-Day Reality Challenge. And the goal for that is to accomplish your dreams and your intentions in 100 days. So there would be people who would meet their soulmate in 100 days. There are people that got a new career in 100 days. So Lilu, she wanted to travel. She wanted to do all sorts of things. But one episode, she showed Oprah her vision board, right? I think it was Lilu. She showed Oprah her vision board. And Oprah looked at the vision board and saw herself on the vision board. This lady had cut out a picture of Oprah put it on her vision board. And then she had a speech bubble where Oprah was saying, "Here I come." And Oprah was like, "Oh my gosh." She's like, "It says here I come and here I am." Like, literally. That is how powerful this method is. This lady brought Oprah into her life by placing her on the vision board. So, yeah, that is what I wanted to share with you about the power of vision boards. When you are doing your board, you can also put affirmations on your board. So far, this is what I have so far. I'm like putting around the border the different things. It's gonna look nicer after I do it, but anyway, you can say the same affirmations over and over and over and over and over when you're creating it. So, for example, I had made something in the past for money, and every day I would look at it and I would say some type of money affirmation. I remember when I was in second grade, went to a very religious school, and our teacher taught us a money prayer. I don't remember the entire money prayer, but I do remember the end, and it went like this. I said, money come in, from the north, the south, the east, and the west. Money come now, money come now, money come now. And then we anointed the whole school. Yeah, I was in second grade when we were doing this. So every time I think of a money prayer, I think of the one my teacher taught me. Money come in from the north, the south, the east, and the west. There was also an affirmation that I say, and it is by Florence Scovel Shinn. In fact, I have her book right here, and I'm going to read to you some of the affirmations that she had for money. So if you are working on a vision board for money, you can add these there. And it is called, hold on, it's like success or happiness, prosperity. It says, I now release the gold mine within me. I am linked with an endless golden stream of prosperity which comes to me under grace in perfect ways. And the reason she says perfect ways is because let's say you ask for money and you get the money, but it's in a messed up way. Like, you might say, I want $20,000. But if you don't say under grace and perfect ways, you might get into a car accident and the person owes you $20,000. That's how it can go. If you are in such a rush, you want the money and all of your dreams to come to you in a way that makes you happy, benefits you, and doesn't bring harm to anybody or yourself. But one of my favorite affirmations by her is, what is it? That unexpected doors fly open, unexpected channels are free, and endless avalanches of abundance flow to me now under grace and perfect ways. Every time I was broke, and I would just say this over and over and over and over and over, the money would just come from nowhere, because it says unexpected channels. Unexpected doors fly open. Unexpected channels are free. What is a channel? A channel is a way that you can get something. It's like a road to you. So you can have a channel for love. You can have a channel for money. You can have a channel for whatever you desire in your life. So I am done with this traveling portion if you want to see it. So right now with the traveling, I have let's go places because I want the person to be spontaneous. Not too spontaneous, not like where they're unstable, but I want them to be like, hey, my love, let's go places. Let's go see this. Let's go see the pyramids. Let's go to Washington, D.C. I've never been to Washington, D.C. I've never been to Philadelphia. I've never been to an island either. Going on a trip, going around the world. Want to visit New York, want to visit Africa. Look, there's Disney World. Going out camping. I'm scared of camping. I really am. Because I don't want to be in the woods with a bear. But whatever. You know, look. Traveling everywhere. That's where me and my love are going to be doing. That's what we're going to be doing. Is traveling. So this next section. Hold on. I don't know what the heck my phone is doing. So the next section that I'm going to show you, as I said, I have a category in my images, and it is about love. It is about love. And I'm going to share with you some of my love experiences and experiences of other people when I put these up. So as I said, it doesn't matter what the people in your images look like. I tried to find people of African descent because I'm Black, of course, so I wanted to just find images of Black love. But mainly, I wanted to find images of how I want to feel. How I want to feel. I want to feel loved. Like this little couple. I want to feel loved. I want to feel like I am just the apple of somebody's eye. You know? Look at them. They're smiling. They're like, hee hee hee. Don't you want somebody to look at you the way this woman is looking at him and the way this dude is looking at his girl? Yeah, I know. So sometimes we don't know what we want until we have it sent to us. Like we might think we want one thing and we want something completely different. Or there's something out there that doesn't exist that we know of. No, there's something out there that we don't know exists, and then it comes into our life and we're like, whoa. So I'm going to share with you a personal story about how that happened to me. So one year, I was like so single, and I was going on all of these stupid dates, and I was basically done. I'm like, you know what? I like being by myself because all of this is some crap. So one day, I was looking for, I guess, a job or something. I was going to some temp agency, and there was this guy, and I thought he looked like one of those dudes from Family Matters. Like he looked like somebody's dad. And I was like, oh, well, this guy's in his 30s, and he was all dressed professionally. So I was like, just give me a job, thank you. So me and the guy ended up being friends. And obviously he was not in his 30s. I thought he was in his 30s. I was like, this guy's older than me. He was actually younger than me. He was 23 years old. So this person was sent into my life because he was sent to show me what I was doing when I was selecting different people to date. This guy's characteristics actually enhanced my taste in selecting guys. So let me tell you a little bit about this guy. This guy was so responsible. He took care of his mother and he took care of his sister. He handled all sorts of work-related things, like he would help to pay people's bills. He was very responsible when it came to other people's lives. He was also very neat. He was very disciplined. He was very protective. But of course, nobody would mess with him because he was like 6'5", so like he looked like a giant. So because this person was in my life, this is the first time I felt so feminine, and I did not know that this is what I had desired because I had never really experienced that for a while. I had never really experienced that. So because this person came in, they opened my eyes to what I didn't know I wanted. Like I didn't know I wanted somebody opening doors for me and like being all polite and listening and having all these good conversations. I mean, I did know that, but I didn't know how far I could go with that. I didn't know that you could have super, super, super deep conversations with someone. I didn't know that you could have a guy, or unless you're like a girl or a guy looking for a woman. I didn't know that you could have a guy be a gentleman like 10,000% of the time. I had never experienced that for a while, or I had never experienced that from somebody romantically interested. But what was interesting about this guy was I wasn't attracted to him like that. He was not my type. He didn't look like my type. I mean, he didn't look like my type. He didn't look my type at all. And me I'm a picky person, okay? On my vision board, you're going to see beautiful people on my vision board, because some people call me shallow because I want what I want. They're like, well, why don't you date such and such a guy? Why don't you date such and such a guy? Look, if you're a person looking for a partner and you want somebody that looks exactly like you physically want, if somebody calls you shallow, just ignore them. Why? Because when somebody approaches you, do they know what your mindset is? No. Do they know what your personality type is? No. All they see is your physical form, and that's what's attracting them to you. There's a whole street full of people, but they come directly to you. Is that shallow? No. Would you rather wake up to somebody that you don't want to see every day? Would you like to have children with somebody, or you look into your children's face and you see somebody you really don't care for? Come on now. So no, it is not shallow to be with someone you are physically attracted to. But sometimes we do limit ourselves. Sometimes we are extremely fixated on certain things, like they have to have green eyes. They have to have brown eyes. What if they look like everything else and have a different eye color? Who knows? They have to have a beard. They have to do this and they have to do that, and they have to be this ideal weight. That part, I mean, I can kind of understand. Like, if you're a health conscious person, you probably don't want somebody morbidly obese, but that person also has the opportunity to become the type of, I guess, physical body type that you would be attracted to if they, focus on their health. There was a woman that wrote the book Calling in the One, 7 Weeks to Attracting the Love of Your Life. And she was in her 40s. She was single. She was looking for a soulmate, but there was nobody around. She wanted children. And so she did 7 weeks of exercises and practices, like spiritual practices, in order to draw her soulmate to her. And one day she was in meditation and she heard a voice that said, he might not look like what you think he's going to look like. And she's like, what do you mean? She's like, okay, thanks for the warning, right? So this was a white lady that had Sicilian roots. And she ended up getting married to a black man. As the voice said, he might not look like what you think he will look like. You might be fixated on one person. Have you ever seen those people that have been in like 13-year relationships? They're like a 13-year girlfriend, okay? No, that's not going to be me. I'm not going to be a 13-year girlfriend. We'll have a 13-year wedding anniversary, but I'm not about to be a 13-year girlfriend. Get that straight. But it might take one person so long to commit to you, whereas it'll take a completely different person to just know that you are the one right on site. There's no doubt in their mind. Things happen like that. It's happened before. I had a friend, she spent years with this dude, like years, and then he just did her wrong. And then what happened? She dated like a little bit for maybe a year, 2 years, and then she ended up getting married, having a kid. It can happen that fast if you really prepare yourself for it. So that's another topic I wanted to tell you about. Preparing yourself for bringing the love into your life. Me, a lot of people are like, Yara, you read so many books. You read so many books. You're just very interested in books. That fact is true. I am interested in books. But I'm also interested in applying the knowledge of books into my life. Now, yes, I will read books because I like books. But there are other reasons why I read them. So one of the reasons I read a lot of books is because I'm going to be a mother one day, and I want to be able to have discernment, wisdom, and pass on knowledge to my children. That is one thing. But the next thing is, what if when I'm looking for a spouse, what if they are in some type of, career field or speak a different language that I don't speak, or they're in another country, or they're practicing something else, and I'm just ignorantly coming to them. Like I can't even what do you call it? I don't know. Come together with them on an intellectual level. What if they are into mathematics and they're looking for somebody with interest in mathematics? What if they're into science and they want somebody who at least has an interest in science? I don't know what subject matter my spouse will be interested in. You know, there's a woman that has a book called How to Marry a Rich Man. I know, it was hilarious. I said, this has got to be a joke. This was when I worked at the library. But it was called How to Marry a Rich Man, or How to Get a Rich Man. It's like, okay. The Princess Method of all things. That's what it was called. The Princess Method. So this woman literally ended up marrying a rich man. And she had a step-by-step process of how to attract a wealthy man. And you know what? It was pretty solid. It was pretty solid advice. So one thing she said is, a rich man or a such and such man, he might be in this field and he is looking for this type of partner. So let's say your woman or your man is into finances. What if they're very financially savvy? They might also be looking for somebody else who is financially savvy, and you don't even know how to handle money. So it's good to learn how to handle money for yourself, but if that person is looking for somebody who is good with money, or knows how to handle money, or knows how to speak money, you're not going to be on their radar. If they're driving like a Porsche or something, and they're dealing with stocks and bonds, and you're just like at some podunk cafe, barely being able to do whatever, like just in your poverty consciousness, you two are not going to combine. Unless it's like some divine orchestration where you two come together, they're always going to be elude you. They're not going to be in that space of yours, because you are in poverty consciousness and they are in prosperity consciousness. In fact, Florence Scovel Shinn speaks about this. I gotta find it. This isn't her like, oh, this isn't Florence Scovel Shinn night, but she has a story in here that is so true, and it's about marriage. And she says, unless marriage is built upon the rock of oneness, it cannot stand. Two souls with but a single thought, two hearts that beat as one. So this is her example. For example, a man and woman married and were apparently happy. The man became successful and his taste improved, but the wife still lived in a limited consciousness. Whenever the man bought anything, he went to the best shops and selected what he needed regardless of price. Whenever the wife went out, she haunted the 5 and 10 cent stores. He was living on 5th Avenue and he thought the world was on 3rd Avenue. Eventually, the break and separation came. We see this so often in the cases of rich and successful men who desert their faithful, hard-working wives later in life. The wife must keep pace with her husband's tastes and ambitions and live in his thought world, for where a man thinketh in his heart, there he is. There is for each person his other half, or divine selection. These two thoughts are one in their thought worlds. So that's what I'm saying. If you're trying to attract a rich man or a rich woman, you gotta be on their thought, I guess in their thought world. You have to think in the same patterns that they are thinking. If you are a person who is trying to get some type of health conscious person, yet you are, I guess, morbidly obese, there's some sacrifices that you have to make. They're going to continue to not be in your world because you aren't matching what they're looking for. They're probably looking for somebody who is health conscious. They're probably looking for somebody who has a certain body frame. I'm not saying destroy your body. I'm not saying you have to starve yourself. I'm not saying you have to eat more. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying if they are looking for a health conscious person, and you are not a health conscious person, but you want somebody in that world, you have to mirror and reflect that world if it benefits you, if it does not bring harm to you, if it doesn't make you like feel uncomfortable in a bad way, you have to do these things. It doesn't matter what your past is. It doesn't matter if like, oh, I was a prostitute before, I could never marry a pastor. Then that's your past. We're talking about right now. We're talking about right now. If you used to be a prostitute and you want to marry a pastor, you're going to have to get on the pastor's wavelength and his thoughts or her thoughts. This is one. Black love, because that's what I want. Anyway, so let me share with you another example. Oh, how the story with the one guy ended. We never dated. He moved and joined the military. So that's how that ended. But speaking of different worlds, let me share with you another story. There was a person that I was friends with. We were friends. It was a guy. We did not date, but we were good friends. And the reason I liked him a lot was because he was very intelligent. He was a good writer. And even though we were complete opposites, we spent so much time together because he was such a good writer and we just had a great time together. However, we both had two different lifestyles. I was over here and he was way over there. So even if we wanted to be in a relationship, these two different lifestyles would clash, which eventually ended up happening. We had a very big quarrel and then all of that ended. So if you are not being yourself, if you're not trying to be your best self and you get with someone who is genuinely their best self, you can only lie for so long. The truth is eventually going to come out. That's why you have to be not too specific with what you want, but you have to have some idea of what you want. Me, I know what I want. I know what my deal breaker is. You have to know what you want. You have to know what your deal breaker is. If your deal breaker is you don't want them to have any kids, don't try to waste somebody's time that has children. Like if that is your major deal breaker. If you don't want to deal with another woman or another man in your life, if you want a nuclear family, and that is exactly what you want at your core soul, don't try to lie to yourself and get something that you don't want. Because eventually, unless you have a change of heart, it's going to fall apart. The truth is going to come out. Literally. There was a story I heard on the radio back in 2017 2017, 2018, probably 2018. So I was listening to the radio and this woman was on the radio. They were reading her letter and her letter said that the mother of her husband's children had passed away. She had gotten married to him. He already had 2 kids and she had his child. So they had a child together. So the mother of his former 2 kids passed away. And she said, I want him to give up his children. I don't want him to have his children anymore. I don't want to raise his children. And he was having a hard time with that. So who is at fault? She is at fault. Why is she at fault? I'm going to tell you why. If she had a problem with a man who had children before her, she shouldn't have gotten with him in the first place. If she didn't want a blended family, she shouldn't have lied to herself and put herself in this situation. She went after what she didn't want. And now she caused a whole bunch of drama because now she's invested. She became invested in something that she didn't want. She tried to sway away from what she actually desired. That is how things can happen if you sell yourself short. There is somebody out there for everyone. Even if you have the worst dating history, your perfect person is out there. You just have to say what you want. You know? You want a doctor? You can get a doctor. I have a friend who some people be like, she's a mother of 4 kids and she's single and blah, blah, blah. How can she find a husband? I'm like, look, this lady's about to marry a whole doctor, okay? That is literally the path that she's going on. It doesn't matter if you're a single mother. It doesn't matter if you're a single father with multiple children. You too can get the person that you want if you really so desire. There is somebody out there for everyone. And I say this for a fact. I say this for a fact because I know some hateful people who have also found their soulmate. So if they can find them, you can find them too. This image is of a ring. And some people are like, you just want to get married for a wedding. I'm like, no, marriage is not just a wedding. Marriage is a lifelong partnership. It is a lifelong love partnership, a lifelong business partnership you create from the marriage. And if it's lifelong, you better choose the best one that you can. I'm going to show you what I have so far. Because I'm going to write on there. I'm just like randomly putting whatever. Because I'm also going to put shapes and different things on there as well. Okay, back. I have a list of notes because I get sidetracked. So know what you want. Okay. Another thing is preparing for this person to come. Sometimes when we're single and we are just sitting there twiddling our thumbs. What do I do? I'm so by myself. Oh no, I'm lonely. I'm eating popcorn, watching Netflix, and there's nobody to chill with. Oh my gosh, hello. You gotta love being alone. You gotta be comfortable being alone. It is easy for me to be alone because I'm an only child. So that's like my whole life. I'm used to being alone. But preparing for your good. In the past, they used to have a thing called a hope chest where the girl would put her whatever things related to marriage. Like she would put things related to marriage so that she could attract a spouse into her life. And after she got married, put more things from her marriage into the box. But she should have called it a faith chest. Because when you hope, you're like, oh, it may or may not come to pass. That's why hope is not that strong. Faith is stronger than hope. When you have faith in something, you start preparing for it. I don't know what's wrong with these people. When you have hope for something, you leave room for something else to come in. Like, oh no, there's an obstacle in the way. Oh, here you go. Oh, you were just hoping. You weren't really serious. You were just hoping. When you have faith that it's going to happen, you operate in a different way, okay? When you have faith that something is going to happen, you operate in a different way. You have to start preparing for these things. It speaks about that. Preparing for love. What can you do to prepare for love? Make room in your schedule for love. Make room in your home for love. Like, shoot, the person doesn't have to live there, but it's symbolic that space is coming. Like, there's a space open, and this person is coming to occupy it in your life. Your home is like a reflection of you. So when you make space in your home, when you clean your home, it is almost like you are cleansing yourself. You have to learn how to open your heart if your heart is closed. If you have some trauma from the past that has harmed your other relationships, you can spend this time alone working on healing yourself from all of these things, you know? Sorry to interrupt, but where am I? Where am I? I'm like in the States or right now? Right now, I am in my apartment. The city I'm in is St. Louis, Missouri. And you, Toriano, I think you're in Chicago. Unless you moved, but I'm gonna make the assumption you're in Chicago. Yep. Yes. Anyway, what was I saying? Preparing for love, preparing for love, preparing for love. You have to believe that there is nothing that can keep your love from you. There is no force in nature. There is no force, unless it's like divinely orchestrated, that can keep you from your true love if they are meant for you. Trying to get this glue stick. Anyway, one way that I prepared in the past for love, whenever I was like, I'm single and lonely, I want somebody to come, what I would do is I just started dressing so nice. You moved? Where'd you move to? Oh, I didn't know you moved. Yeah, I would start dressing so nice, like I was just somebody's trophy wife. That's how I was dressing. And every day I would dress nicer than the day before. I was doing all of these beauty treatments. I was doing all of these facials. I've never gotten my nails done, but I was painting my nails. I was singing. I was listening to all of these love songs because I knew I was going to be feeling this way soon. I was holding my hand, scouting out places to go out on dates when the person would come. So I walk in the park and imagine I was talking to the person. I would sit at my kitchen table and set a plate for the person and light a candle and pretend like we were just having whatever, like having the best conversation in the whole wide world. I'd go to the store and I would look at the different presents I would buy him when he would arrive. Like, oh, I think he would like this watch. Oh, I think he would like this muffin or whatever it was. You know, I would read about how to have a healthy relationship. Like, that's what I'm doing now. There's nobody around. Am I tripping? No. Why? Because I love myself. I don't need nobody around. But I'm still doing these things because the person I desire is coming. They're on their way now. And I'm going to be prepared. I'll be like, boop. And let me show you some of the things I'm doing. So that's what I have so far on my vision board. So yeah, I have my true love because that is who my spouse is going to be. Some people get into relationships because they are a hobosexual, which is like they just date you to have a place to live. Couples resort, as we're going to be traveling. The future, because it's going to be forever. I have modern man, so I have a picture of all of these sophisticated black men all in a line. I want the guy to just be a classy guy. I don't want him to just be looking like a bum or something, like, and have a bum mindset. Because you can look like a bum, but carry yourself like you're a rich man, okay? Don't get it twisted. But if you have a bum mindset, it doesn't matter what suit you wear. It doesn't matter what you're speaking. People can feel it. I have beautiful black bride, Afrolicious. Yeah, Afrolicious. I have a picture of a present, and that is twofold. The present represents that I am a gift to the person, and the person is a gift to me, but we also give each other presents. Looks of love, bridal brigade, just different pictures of brides. As I am, which means the person accepts my best self and I accept the person's best self, and we help each other to become the highest form of people that we can be. Oh, yeah, that's my little statue. It's my little African boy statue. He has my money. Here's my little silver nickels. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Okay. Now, this next section, parent. I want a guy that is a father figure. I want a guy that is going to father my children well. He will be the father of my children, and he will be a good father. A lot of people sometimes, they'll make the mistake of liking someone and committing to them and wanting to start a family with them, but they don't think about the person's qualities and how it can affect their future family, okay? Like, let's say you're the type of dude that just loves those wild girls, okay? I'm not saying all girls that are wild are bad. I'm talking about the wild, wild girls. The wild, out of control type of women. Let's say you're attracted to her, you see what she's wearing, you like her body, you like her hair, her nails are done, her makeup's on fleek, like you just like everything about her. You know that she's really not spitting anything worthwhile, but you just want to have fun and be wild, okay? Next thing you know, might have a child by her, and then that can lead to a whole string of drama that you could have prevented, okay? You really want to be careful with who you select in dating. Think about it, like, how will this person act in this situation? If I lose my money, will this person be there? If I get sick, will this person be there? Would I want this person guiding my children? Think about that. Would I want this person guiding my children? That's why, like I said, I'm very specific about who I date. Like, I won't date a guy who, let's say, like, does drugs, basically. Some people will date a guy that does drugs, or will date a girl that does drugs and sells things on the street. I'm not trying to have that type of lifestyle, because when the person has a lifestyle that is detrimental to them, it can be detrimental to you. And not only is it detrimental to you, it can be detrimental to the children that you two produce. What do I mean? I'm talking about if you have a man or a woman that you're interested in who's gangbanging or doing something that is illegal, it can bring harm. Just because you aren't in it, that stuff can come to your doorstep because you are associated with that person. You might have somebody that isn't involved in any of that, but their eating habits, like they're a drinker or something. You produce a child with a woman who drinks all the time, and she drinks during her pregnancy, your child will be affected. I'm talking about that. You really want to be very specific and very careful when you select a serious partner. Don't just think about you two. Think about the people that will come in the future, the children that will come in the future. Would you want this person to be a parent? See, I have pictures of children. I also want to adopt children. I want us to have our own children and adopt children. You also have to be open. Even though I said you have to be specific, you also have to be open. Some people are so specific, they'll be detailed to like, I want my person to drive this type of car. I want my person to have this exact income a year. Like, you say, I want them to have $60,000 a year, but they might be making 40. You have to have some type of leeway. Me, when I say, I want this, like in a black guy, I'll say a black guy. He could be biracial. He could be black. He could be dark skinned. He could be light skinned. He could be in between. He could have a hair. He could have afro. He could have locks. He could be muscular. He could be skinny. Because I don't really go after like big burly dudes. So it could be like scrawny or he can be muscular. So I have some type of leeway there. Some people, they're like, I need her to have blonde hair and green eyes, or one green eye and one purple eye, and she has to be 5'4" and work in a factory and have nails that are as long as the Great Wall of China, and that is the woman that I want. Don't be that specific. Sometimes when you have something, there's something better out there waiting for you. Sometimes when you're too specific, you end up missing what was even better for you. There's somebody out there for you who is beyond your wildest dreams, and you're literally tripping over somebody who is half of your dreams. Think about it. The more time you spend wasting tripping over somebody who is half your dreams, your dream come true is just like, where is my person? Where's my person? Where are they? So this section I have power because we're going to be a power couple. When we have our marriage, we're going to make dynamic moves in this world. We're also going to be inspiring. When a person and another person get into a powerful relationship, it doesn't just affect the couple, it affects those that are around the couple. I know a couple of husbands and wives who have really inspired me, whether their spouse is deceased or whether their spouse is still alive. I know a couple who, both of them are engineers. They're very inspiring. They're a happily married couple. I knew a couple that created, oh, thank you, Erica. You look cute too. I love your baby. She's a baby model. So I know a couple that they used to do films together. So he would film and she would write. Now he's since deceased, but that was a power couple that still inspires me to this day. My godfather, when his wife was still alive, they inspired a lot of people with their love partnership before she passed away. So there are people out there who are affected by the love of a married couple. Ah, yes. Oh, yeah, you, Erica, you inspire me, you and your dude. Like, I'm just like, look at these young people, beautiful young people in love with one another, having a strong family. Sometimes we get into relationships that are toxic because we've never seen a healthy relationship. Some of us don't even know what a healthy relationship looks like. And then when we see it, it's almost like seeing a unicorn, basically. That's what it's like. It's like seeing a unicorn because we have never experienced what true love looks like. True love, relationships, some people call it generational curses. You don't have to do what your parents did. You don't have to repeat toxic relationships just because you've seen someone repeat the same or do what your grandma or your granddaddy did. Like, you don't have to do that. You can have a whole different lifestyle. It doesn't have to be the norm. Oh yeah, you try. Like, you guys are doing a good job. You know, like, some people in their early 20s, like, their relationships disintegrate, but like, you two are goal-oriented. You also have a community supporting you, and you both want to have the best for your children. Yes, you both want to have the best for your children. Both of you are making a conscious decision not to repeat any generational patterns. You're both making conscious decisions to be the best parents that you can be. And that is why your daughter will grow up seeing what true love looks like. Asking for true love is not asking too much. Asking to be loved correctly is not asking for too much. Everybody deserves to be loved to their fullest capacity. So I'm going to finish this vision board later. This is what I have so far. Yeah, I have this so far. I'm going to show you some books now. Hold on. I'm going to show you some books that I have on love. So if you're interested in getting some books or borrowing from the library, you can. Now this one is called Forever in Love. My ex talked about generational curses, and he said it involved being abusive and an alcoholic. Yes, oh my God. I remember your ex too. And he repeated those patterns. But the thing that ended that relationship was you were like, look, I know my worth. Like, that's what I admired about you. Because I used to have a hard time, if I was in a toxic relationship, leaving the relationship. But what you did was so inspiring. Like, I remember it. Like, I'm still inspired to this day. Like you said, no, I will not tolerate this. I have something better out there. I'm going to be treated right. I'm going to school. I'm going to work on my goals. And that's exactly what you did. And now you have this beautiful family. You're in school. You're doing your goals. You have all of this support because you asked for more. Some people, they don't ask for more. They just settle. I knew a girl who was very, very, very abused. Like, she was so abused. And she ended up leaving the guy and getting married like a year or two later to some guy that was so in love with her. I knew a woman that was staying in a toxic relationship because she had 3 or 4 children with this man. And the reason I knew she was being beaten, how I knew she was being beaten, because I was babysitting her children. I could not find any forks, spoons, or knives in this woman's house. And I didn't want to come out directly and say, are you being abused? How I found out she was being abused was, I phrased it like this. I said, why aren't there any utensils in your house? And she was like, oh, he beats me and different things. You don't have to settle for that. Men and women, if you're being abused and you're a man or a woman, you don't have to stay in that relationship. That person is not appreciating your worth. There is somebody out there who would treasure you and cherish you and love on you every single day of your life. Yes. Yes. And it's a good thing because you left. Some women and men will stay in relationships like that their whole lives. Like, they will literally up and marry this person because that's all they know. You're not even 25 yet. Like you made a major decision that changed the whole course of your life. And because you made that decision, you got blessed with this man, you got blessed with your daughter, and blessed with all of this happiness. And that was your reward. A lot of us, we don't see the reward waiting for us because we're like this. Like, that's how I am. I'm just like, they're like, hey, Kiara, I'm over here. And I'm just like, no, food. I want this person in particular. And no, gotta open my mind. But as I was saying, this book, Forever in Love, is basically, I guess some of it's like verses and just positive phrases, all related to love and marriage. Yup. Yes, Antoine. This one is called Simply Sophisticated. Why am I showing you a book about sophistication when I'm talking about love? I mentioned earlier that you have to become the type of person you want to attract. If you want somebody that is full of love and loves without bounds, you have to become that person who loves without bounds. If you want a world traveler, if you want somebody with sophisticated tastes, you have to develop those sophisticated tastes within yourself. Yes, you had to leave all childish things behind. I think that's a biblical verse. It was like, when I was a child, I thought like a child, I acted like a child, but now that I am a man or a woman, I put childish things behind, Yes, food for thought. But yeah, Simply Sophisticated. That's what I'm reading now, because my spouse is going to be sophisticated. I don't know what career field he's in. I don't know what his background is. I just know it's some black guy somewhere in the world. He could be in Africa. He could be in St. Louis. He could be in a completely different state. That could be useful. I need to get into reading again, and I heard a sermon about what you are saying. There's somebody waiting for you. Like in the Bible, it talks about Ruth and Boaz. Ruth and Boaz. And how Ruth was just doing her own thing. Sometimes a person comes when you're just doing your own thing. It's almost like when you're actively looking for them, they can't see you. But when you're focused on yourself, here they come. Next book is The Woman's Guide to Total Self-Esteem. Why a self-esteem book? You cannot properly love someone if you don't love yourself. You cannot properly nourish someone if you can't nourish yourself. If you are going to become a parent, you should have high self-esteem because your children will listen to your actions more than your words. You can be saying all you want about having self-confidence, but if your children or your spouse doesn't see you with the self-confidence, they're not going to believe you or respect you. Also, having self-esteem detracts people who are out to use you. An abuser can see from a mile away if you have low self-esteem, and then they can do anything to you because they feel you can accept anything. And it's not just an abuser in a relationship. It's an abuser with jobs, an abuser with friends, strangers. They'll know how to treat you because you tell them how to treat you. That's why you see some people, they'll make way for certain people because the person raised their voice. Because they have high self-esteem. This book, The Healing Wisdom of Africa. I read this book in college, and it gave me a lot of nourishment spiritually. Sometimes we will destroy good relationships because we have not healed ourselves from whatever. Some people have had sexual abuse. Some people have had just all types of trauma in their life. Well, you're having it now. But like some people have had all sorts of trauma in their lives, and they push away somebody that is good for them. The person can't handle their trauma. Like you have it, and now you're passing it on to this person, and they're just like, I can't handle this anymore. Ask and it is given, Learning to Manifest Your Desires by Abraham Hicks. Basically just, it's like law of attraction. Oops, oh, my candle burned out. Calling in the One, 7 Weeks to Attract the Love of Your Life. This is the book that I spoke about, where the woman, her husband ended up being black. He did not turn out how she thought he would look like. And what was very interesting was they actually got a divorce, and she wrote a book called Conscious Uncoupling. But they're still good friends because they both have self-esteem within themselves. They're both mature adults. The next book is called Sacred Woman, which I have not read completely, but this has changed the lives of so many women. Like, there have been women that have changed their whole diets from this book. There have been women that have changed their whole marriages because of this book. Okay, hold on. Yeah. So, Sacred Woman, it gives you exercises on how to breathe, how to eat, how to love yourself, how to be beautiful, and just be empowered, especially if you are a woman of African descent, which is the target audience. The next book is called You Can Heal Your Life, but it's the companion book. If you don't know who Louise Hay is, Louise Hay wrote You Can Heal Your Life, which has helped so many people over the course of since this book has been written. But Louise Hay was abused as a child. She was sexually abused. She was physically abused by her parents. And because of this abuse, her trauma manifested in the form of, I guess, some type of cancer. I think it was pancreatic cancer or ovarian cancer. It was something to do with the womb, because she had held all of this trauma in her womb. And so she ended up, through this diagnosis, healing herself of her cancer. And she even wrote a book called, I can't remember what it was called, but she linked your emotions and your thoughts of yourself to your disease, and she gives you an affirmation to combat that. So there was one time I had a sickness, and when I looked up the emotional cause of the disease, or not the disease, of the sickness, it said anger at not being appreciated, or anger at not feeling love. It was both of them. So that was exactly what I had been going through. I was actually very angry because I felt like I wasn't being appreciated and acknowledged. And I feel that that also contributed to my sickness, the emotional cause. So yes, if you are trying to bring new love into your life, sometimes you have to do a lot of self-work. It might not come immediately. It might be a few years. Sometimes you have to spend time by yourself because sometimes you don't truly know yourself. You know, some people, they just jump into a relationship and another relationship and another relationship, but they didn't have time to sit quietly and truly intuit, if that's the word. Listen to their own enemies. And they spend all of these relationships deafening who they really or truly are. You know? It's good to have, if you're single and plan to get married and have a family, it's good to have a period of time alone, travel, live by yourself, because once you have a family and some children and a spouse, you're gonna be pretty busy. You're not gonna really have that amount of space to yourself unless you incorporate it into your family's schedule, you know, until the children turn 18 or leave the house at a certain age. You won't have that time to yourself. So enjoy being selfish, okay? Enjoy being selfish. Use the love that you would be giving to a love partner. Use it to volunteer. Use it to educate a child. Use it to love on yourself. Give yourself the best foods. Give yourself flowers. Give yourself the best clothes. Go out of town. Go on little adventures. Write yourself love letters. There's all different things that you can do. I write myself love letters. I buy myself flowers. I'll be like, I love you, Kiara. You are the most beautiful Kiara in the whole wide world. Well, I have a friend named Kiara. You're the most beautiful Kiara with your own DNA in the whole wide world, and there is nobody like you, and I just love you so much. Look at your hair. Look at your skin and your eyes. Oh my God, I love you. That's how you have to feel about yourself. Don't be afraid to flaunt it. Don't be afraid. Gotta be on a Cardi B, Nicki Minaj level with your self-esteem, okay? Like, look, I'm the baddest person that entered into the room and nobody can tell me nothing. That's how you gotta be, you know? And once you're like that, all of these people that'll try to pull you down, they can't even approach you now. You're not a target anymore. They can see you having extra weight. They can see you not having enough weight, like being underweight. They can see you not taking care of your physical frame or watch your decisions, and then they come and try to prey on you. We can't let this happen when it comes to love. Entrepreneurial, because me and my spouse will have our own businesses and we're going to have control of our money. Hold on, I'm going to turn this as I show you. Oh, my phone's trying to die, but whatever. We're going to have our own money. We're going to step in the name of love. Step in the name of love. You can make a whole playlist while you're doing your vision boarding. This one says, ultimate success experience. That's going to be us. Abundance, because we're not going to be broke. Herbs, because we're going to have our own garden. What else? Protected, protective, because I'm going to be protected, shoot. Give thanks, because we are grateful for all of the things that are coming into our lives. I also have images of, like, why a lion? Like, number one, this is some power in this picture. Number two, this lion's protecting her, and she's protecting him as well. They are the kings and queens of the jungle. He will have the strength of a lion. He will have the focus and bravery of a lion. Cheetah, because we're going to be chasing after our goals at fast speed. Mesmerized, because we'll be so madly in love with one another. Infinite, because we are forever. Hold on. Infinite. I also have a picture of a Maasai. I think he's Maasai. I have a picture of a man who is Maasai. And this is to represent that my spouse truly appreciates his roots, his ancestry. Says more than beauty, more than a beauty. Nutrition, because we will be health focused. And lastly, energy. We're not going to have a dragging marriage. We're not going to have a tired marriage. We're going to have all the love that we desire in the world. So this is my vision board, which I am not done with yet. I'm going to continue after this video. If you are vision boarding tonight or you are vision boarding another day, peace, peace, peace to your vision board. May all of the things you placed on it come true. May you get your love. May you get your money, your success, business sales. May you get the child that you're aiming for. May you get the home that you are aiming for. Prosperity and justice and love, Afrolicious, traveling, globe-trotting, enhancement for all of you. All of you have a beautiful, beautiful night, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.